Hi, my name is Joe Snyder. I'm the Dealer Marketing and Training Manager with Freightliner Custom Chassis, and we're here today to talk about the SL. SL stands for Superior Luxury. Now, Superior Luxury, you're going to find us under a lot of high-end coaches out there, but what really designates it? If you have a 500 or 600 horsepower chassis that's built by Freightliner, that's Superior Luxury. Now, these are hand-built, American-made in Gaffney, South Carolina. We're also going to talk about the XC chassis. That's 78% of the market out there. They're riding on an XC chassis. Now that's a designation that's 450 horsepower and below. Now let's talk about some of the amenities that come with each of these chassis. Having the industry's best maneuverability isn't enough. We also have the industry's best ride. And that's why we've earned our position in the superior luxury market. So when you look at high-end coaches today, we're under more high-end coaches than any other manufacturer. Let's go through some of the reasons why and what's important to your customers. Now, maneuverability is a huge issue for all of our customers out there. And the bigger the coach, man, it could seem like it'd be hard to maneuver that coach, but not with Freightliner Custom Chassis. What your customers need to know is an SL is going to come standard with an independent front suspension, ZF IFS. That's going to be an up to 60-degree wheel cut. So what? They can maneuver a little bit better. Well, we know that 90% of accidents happen during the 1% of the time our customers are backing up. If we can eliminate that liability of having to back up or unhook a car, all the unnecessary hassles that ensue with that, well, we've just built them a superior luxury coach, right? Now, independent front suspension is going to leave all the road noise on the outside of the coach because the suspension works on the outside from the inside out. Now, to make sure that none of that ever transfers up to the driver, we put the steering linkage from the driver's side all the way to the center of the front axle. Now that means comfort in driving down the road. And while maneuverability is very important to our customers, we don't want to forget about the ride quality. And ride quality is going to build value in the sale. So as you're going through it, you know that the airbags are here. But what about airbags on the SL chassis are different from the others? Well, this large airbag is connected to the ping tank with a 1/2-inch airline. Our competitors are using a 1/4-inch airline. Well, if you can't compress the air in the ping tank and the airbag at the same time, it's not going to give you the best ride quality. And that's what Freightliner Custom Chassis brings to you, the best ride quality. Along with that, our SAC shocks. Those gold SAC shocks. SAC's parent company is Rolls-Royce. It doesn't get more premium than that, right? You'll find them under Mercedes-Benz, Bugattis, BMWs, Maseratis. That's where you're going to find SAC shocks. Why? Because SAC's is going to custom tune those shocks to each coach that we need. Each time we come up with a new chassis, they come out and they do a special ride and drive with us to make sure that we're going to get the ride quality that our manufacturers expect and our customers deserve. We will lock in that feel of ride and drive for each customer. They'll get their own part number, and then it will be under our superior luxury chassis. Also, standard on the SL and the XC chassis are front disc brakes. Front disc brakes are going to stop your coach about 1 coach length earlier than if you had drum brakes. Now, drum brakes, if you ride them, they can heat up and expand over time. Well, that puts them further away from the brake pads, causing brake fade. They'll just feel squishy. Now, with disc brakes, if the disc expands, it's expanding into the brake pads. You're never going to lose confidence of stopping power with front disc brakes. The 150-gallon fuel tank on the SL has a 4-inch drop. That gives a better center of gravity and a better ride experience. Also, you'll notice that we don't have a fuel sender on the side of the tank. And we've noticed over time that a fuel sender on the side of a tank could leak. So ours is placed on top. Now right here you see a coupler plate. It's CAD designed and molded, forged steel, very solid. Now the reason we have a forged steel coupling plate is so that our frame rails, they don't twist, they don't buckle or slide. Any movement of these frame rails can cause creaking over time. And then, with like a competitor's coach chassis, you might have to get under there and weld those frame rails together. We don't want our customers with $700,000 coaches to have their frame rails welded on a brand new chassis. Also, this frame rail here is a 10-inch frame rail, and from front to back it has a full-length liner. That liner gives it extra rigidity for all of the marble, granite, and tile that goes into these high-line coaches. You can know with the SL, it's going to be able to carry whatever you put in it. Just like our coupler plates up front, Freightliner Custom Chassis purpose builds our axle spring hangers. Our axle spring hangers are not truck axle spring hangers that just go on one frame rail. We've developed them to go up on both frame rails. Only in the RV industry do you have stacked rails. That's why we purpose built them to use them as a coupler plate as well as the axle spring hanger. Now this is a special axle spring hanger. If I could pick this up and take it off and set it over here, this is what you would see. You'd see V-Ride. V-Ride is the industry's first 24,000-pound rear axle suspension. V-Ride gets its name from the V-Rod connectors on the top here that go to the corner of the frame rail and the cross member. Gives it better rigidity. This more stable design helps for ride and handling. Now, also helping ride and handling is the transverse beam. Previously, you would find a transverse beam with a bushing down here. That would allow a little bit of movement from this piece to the transverse beam here. Now it's crimped and welded together. It's one piece from this side all the way around to the other. Again, bringing more stability and confidence in driving. Now, what kind of confidence in driving can you expect going down the road? Well, you can expect when you go around that 40, 50 mile an hour curve that your coach isn't going to carry you out to the side. You can expect when you're in a city and you take that 5 mile an hour turn and your coach starts to dip, well, it's not going to dip anymore with V-Ride. Now, V-Ride has the same ride and handling that you're used to with Freightliner. We have volumetric airbags, SAC shocks, only coming with Freightliner's V-Ride. And you know that they are tuned to your coach's specifications. Also, when it comes to servicing for alignments, we have a quick align tool. There's no need for shims anymore. V-Ride is truly luxury without limits. It gives you a 24,000-pound suspension, even whether it's on a tag or on a single rear axle coach. Like on the XC chassis. We'll use this on an XC chassis so that you can have more amenities without having to add a tag. And yet, it's still going to ride like a tag whether it has one with it or not. If you want to show your customers a little bit more information about the V-Ride and the things that we've talked about in this video, you can access this V-Ride brochure and show it to them. It's going to give you all the benefits that we've gone over today. As well, sometimes a visual just isn't enough. Sometimes you need a video. So go to our YouTube channel at Freightliner Chassis and you'll find more videos there about V-Ride. Behind the V-Ride, we have ULTRASTEER. Wait, these are some pretty catchy names, aren't they? V-Ride and ULTRASTEER? Why do you think we've done that? We've done that to brand them for you so it makes it easier to sell. Customers are going to be coming in asking, what coaches have V-Ride? What coaches have ULTRASTEER? Well, Freightliner Custom Chassis builds those products. So let's look a little bit closer at what ULTRASTEER is. ULTRASTEER comes in an I-Series, which is an independent suspension, or a B-Series, which is a beam axle. The ULTRASTEER B-Series is a beam axle. You can see from side to side that it's a solid axle. Now, what are some of the benefits of ULTRASTEER B-Series? A steerable tag. Why do we have this? Well, traditional tags would have tire scrub, meaning they don't turn. They're just going to bump along the road every time you make a hard turn. And that's going to tear up the outside of the tire. So to eliminate that and to have a better turn radius, we have ULTRASTEER B-Series. Now it's going to turn 12 degrees and give you a 17% better turning radius. Also, it's going to lock out straight when you get above 20 miles per hour. And below 15, it will unlock again. It also locks in reverse. Now, what are some of the things that Freightliner is known for? Obviously, our turn radius and the stability that we were talking about with V-Ride. So how do we get stability with B-Series? We get stability from B-Series with outboard mounted shocks. Outboard mounted wide track trailing arms. As well as, you're going to get that ride quality you're looking for with volumetric airbags. Our competitors out there with inboard mounted shocks and inboard mounted trailing arms. That's not going to give the stability that our customers deserve, especially in these high-end coaches. So when customers come in asking for ULTRASTEER, you know what to talk about. And it's easy to remember because we've made this brochure just for you to show your customers. Not only are they in this brochure, but you can go to our YouTube channel at Freightliner Chassis and look up ULTRASTEER. So today we've talked a lot about ride and handling and how Freightliner Custom Chassis is really a custom manufacturer. That's our middle name, Freightliner Custom Chassis. Now, you've seen the ride brochure and you've gone through the ride course, but let's just kind of recap a little bit. R stands for ride and handling, I for infinite support, D Daimler heritage, and E is an experience in ownership. You have all of these assets available for you. The brochures, the cards, the owner's brochure, and Camp Freightliner. All of these are put together, branded for you to sell coaches, branded for you to sell more coaches than your competitors. Use these assets to your benefits as you move forward in your career in sales.